Okay, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another video in the Tokyo series. I'm still in Japan right now. I've been here for about 10 days. I'll be here for another week. In today's video, I'm going to let you guys know about my personal experience using Wellbutrin, otherwise known as Bupropion, the generic name. But Wellbutrin is a atypical antidepressant. If you guys have seen 2 videos ago, I kind of tell you about what kind of led to my depression and what kind of just got me into that state. Just a quick overview. I got into a rut. I was seeing something kind of pretty big happened, and it just broke me. I didn't realize it broke me until like a week or two later. But yeah, it really shook me to my core, to the point where I didn't want to get out of bed anymore. I was having really, really, really bad thoughts, guys. And I'm never the type of person that thinks about anything, any type of self-harm or anything. But I was having terrible thoughts. I couldn't socialize with any of my friends in the content house. I just felt very isolated and alone. So that led me to going to my doctor, originally looking for therapy. But in LA right now, where I'm based out of, currently they're just super booked. So there's no therapist available that my insurance would cover. So my doctor was like, well, hey, I can't have you go see a therapist right now, but I could have you see a psychiatrist. And I was just in such a pit, such a dark hole, where I was like, I'll literally do anything. So boom, saw the psychiatrist, and originally she prescribed me Lexapro, but I heard really bad things about people gaining a lot of weight on Lexapro. A lot of men will have ED issues, erectile dysfunction issues, and just a lot of nasty side effects I didn't want. So for my own research, I actually stumbled across Wellbutrin. Now, Wellbutrin being an atypical antidepressant, it's more so closer to the class of drugs known as stimulants. So drugs like Ritalin, Adderall, Vyvanse, these dopamine increasing drugs, these dopamine inducing drugs. Wellbutrin is actually something called it's like a DNRI, a dopamine norepinephrine reuptake inhibitor. So basically what it does is it keeps the dopamine that your body naturally produces in your system for longer, and it keeps norepinephrine, which also it's something to do with the adrenaline in your body. Basically, it kind of keeps that up as well too. So it's actually more similar to the stimulant class of drugs, more like Adderall, Vyvanse. And another reason why my depression was the case, personally, what I thought was people will have depression for different reasons. But so it's good to find what the basis. Some people have it from body issues. Some people have it because of childhood traumas and things like that. But a big part of it for me was the event that had happened. And then 2, whenever I feel like I'm not being productive enough, then that's when I feel just very off path, off base, I'm not really on my purpose. So since Wellbutrin is kind of like a low dose stimulant, it's a very low dose, almost like Adderall or low dose Vyvanse, I thought that, hey, maybe this could actually, help me out because it'll make me more productive. Again, I was in such a dark hole. I didn't even want to get out of bed. I just felt tired all the time. And if you guys have gone through something like that, you know how it can be. So yeah, so the doctor prescribed me Wellbutrin. I started taking it. I was on 100 milligrams, the sustained release dose. You can have either the immediate release, the sustained release, or the extended release. The immediate release is just immediately it just is in your system and it spikes really quick. The sustained release is the middle of the two, so it kind of spikes. And with the sustained release, you have to take it 2 times a day. So I was prescribed to take 100 milligrams SR sustained release 2 times a day. And then with the extended release one, you only have to take it once a day. So a lot of times people will take it once in the morning, and you don't have to worry about taking it again until really the next day. So so I was on the sustained release, but again, I do kind of feel weird about the whole antidepressant thing, and I kind of feel weird about just taking I guess pharmaceutical, medical grade drugs like that. So I was only taking the sustained release once a day, even though I was prescribed to take it twice a day. I was only taking it once a day because I just didn't want to become too dependent on it, and I didn't want the dosage to be that high for me. So also, guys, this is a new mic setup, so let me know how the audio is in the comments. But yeah, so I started taking it once a day, and initially it made me just pretty tired. I would take it and it would kind of just knock me out, and I was already feeling like, again, I was feeling depressed and tired already. So that was a little bit not good, and I kind of thought about not continuing it, but I still like wanted to stick it out and everything. So my doctor told me, okay, this could be one of the things that happens when you first get on it. So I was like, okay, let me just like keep taking it. I'm gonna kind of see like how it works for me. It's a really cloudy day today, but I like it. Tokyo's been a vibe. So I kept taking it, and eventually, I would say probably after about a week, I started getting the stimulant effects. I started getting the effects of I actually could get out of bed in the morning, and I could actually sit down and do my work, and I was feeling productive again. I was actually being able to do YouTube more consistently and do all these things that I wanted to do with like music, posting reels, posting Instagram reels, going to work every day. I kind of felt not excited, but I felt like I didn't have a sense of dread doing it. So initially it was like such a great thing for me, guys. Like, it brought me out of that pit that I was in. I was in a dark hole having so many bad thoughts, and it felt like it really brought me back, it felt like. So initially it was like it was really good. I feel like I needed it, you know. I don't know really what I would have done not having therapy and not really having, like, I had my friends around, but it just kind of felt weird talking about certain things, and certain things I kind of couldn't really talk about with like what happened with this other person I was seeing. It was just really personal between me and her. So yeah, I feel like the Wellbutrin actually like saved me in a way, guys. It made me productive again. It got me out of that deep dark hole. But it wasn't without its cons. So with any type of pharmaceutical thing, like a medical grade drug, when it does something to your body and to your brain specifically, it can get a little bit gnarly, guys. So with Wellbutrin specifically, they say you have to take it for 6 weeks, like 6 to 8 weeks. So basically like 2 months for it to build up in your body, because it actually changes your brain. Like, it changes your brain chemistry. As crazy as that sound, guys, it changes your brain, and you have to give it time just to kind of build up in your system and build up in your brain. And I took it for about 2 months exactly. But actually, when I got here to Tokyo, it was around the 2 month period exactly. And they had told me that you're not supposed to drink on Wellbutrin. And another thing that Wellbutrin, Bupropion, is used for is to help people kind of quit addictive things. So it helps cigarette smokers. A lot of times it would be prescribed to people that smoke cigarettes, which is something I was doing before a little bit too, to help them get off of it. So any type of like addiction that you have that's specifically dopamine increasing thing. So if you binge eat, that increases dopamine. If you smoke cigarettes, that increases dopamine. If you watch TV, that increases dopamine. If you drink alcohol, that increases dopamine. If you're like a sex addict, that increases dopamine. And what Wellbutrin does, since it basically ups dopamine in your brain already, so many things that would normally seem pleasurable are not pleasurable anymore. So I remember like I would smoke a cig on Wellbutrin, and it was just gross. I just didn't like it. I wasn't getting anything from it. I would even like before Wellbutrin, I used to be like a really big coffee person. I loved caffeine. I would drink a cup of coffee, and it was just like it would just make me tweak out because you'd become really sensitive on caffeine. So I wouldn't get the dopamine aspect, like increasing aspect of it, and then also I would like tweak and get anxiety from it, which wasn't good. And I noticed that with alcohol, I could drink, and I didn't really feel like that buzz or even a drunk feeling at all. And then I realized I could drink a lot and not feel like the alcohol. So it just felt like I could just keep drinking, keep drinking, keep drinking. So I'm not gonna call myself dumb, but the kind of alcohol fiend in me, whatever you want to call it, it's always been my vice, guys. If I'm being completely honest with you, like, I've always had a hard time like quitting alcohol for good. So in my head, I'm thinking, okay, well, they're telling me I'm not supposed to drink on it, but when I drink, I don't ever feel drunk. I don't wake up with a hangover anymore the next day. So this is great. I can drink socially. I can drink a bunch, and I'll be all right. Guys, tell me how out here in Tokyo, I had a night where it was just crazy. Freaking, I went to the homies pop up. You guys will see. I'm gonna post a vlog if it's not already out right now. But I had a crazy night, just going from place to place, drinking. And the thing about Wellbutrin, one of the cons of it is that it lowers your threshold for seizures, and things like drinking alcohol can increase that, basically your chance of having a seizure. Guys, tell me how after this crazy night I had of drinking, probably the most I've drank maybe in, not my whole life, but in a very long time. The next day, guys, I felt terrible. My brain felt so foggy and numb. I had never felt anything like that. I couldn't eat. I couldn't drink water. It was almost like being like having a really bad hangover, but I was liking it to be 30 times worth. And also, they say you're not supposed to drink on Wellbutrin because if you do drink, the next day you have like a really bad depression. Like basically, the alcohol kind of cancels out the Bupropion in your system, the Wellbutrin in your system, to the point where it's almost like you're not taking the depression medicine anymore. So, also, guys, that next day I was the most depressed, maybe even more than before I had gotten on it. So I was having terrible thoughts that I would never even wish upon anybody, that I was so scared of. I felt like I was seeing things, guys. Like I felt like I was seeing like spiders that weren't there or shadowy figures that weren't there. It was a day out here, so the homie had left, and I was just at the crib. And it's like when he had left the house, I just felt like in such like a dark place. Like I honestly didn't know like if something really bad was gonna happen to me, because I just felt like I just was seeing all these black dots. I was seeing stars, and I felt like I was just fading away into like an abyss. And I remember I was in the room and it was all dark, and I faded back into my bed, and it felt like I wasn't sleeping. It felt like I was like going to a different place. So I don't think I had a seizure or anything, but my body felt really weird, and I kept going in and out, in and out. And yeah, thankfully I'm okay, guys. But it was such like a heavy scare, and basically what it did to me, like from being off the Wellbutrin, I just kind of got scared off of it, guys. Like it felt like the Wellbutrin was working, but the more and more that I researched, especially on Reddit and stuff, people were saying that like 20 years down the line, because if you take it, you kind of have to take it forever. And they were saying 20 years down the line, like it just changed them, and they weren't the same person anymore, and they wish they could be the same person. I love watching the trains go by. But so yeah, I basically made the decision that although it was kind of working for me, the cons of your chances of having seizures more, um, not being able to drink, not being able to enjoy a coffee, not being able to just enjoy dopamine things. Like I wasn't really even being able to eat that much like I normally would. Again, to some people that would be a plus, but for me, somebody who goes to the gym and I actually want to like being able to eat and enjoying a cup of coffee. Not to mention, I think Wellbutrin also, I'll end with this, but I think Wellbutrin also numbed my emotions a lot. So I wasn't feeling bad, but I also couldn't really feel good things anymore. Like I would be around my friends and I don't know, women and stuff, and I just could really care less about what happens. Like I'm around these people, but I don't really feel much highs. You don't feel the lows, but you don't feel the highs either. So I would say, guys, if you're in a dark place and you really like, you're kind of like how I was, and you feel like you have no option and you might hurt yourself, I would say get on an antidepressant. But if there's any way that you think that you could do without it, I would really, really, really recommend and encourage you guys to just try to do it the normal way. Try to do it the right way. Like, not saying it's the normal way, but try to go out and get sun. Try to go out and be in nature. Try to meditate. Try to work out and journal and have mindfulness sessions, and try to find your faith. Try to believe in something. Believe in God, because these medicines, although they can help, all the answers are already inside of us, and it's just about us. It's up to us to go and search them out and to find those deeper things that are within us. So the siren is going, so I'm gonna try to end it here. But also know that these drugs will change you. Like they actually change your brain chemistry, and they'll change you forever. So unless you want to be on them for the rest of your life, try to just thug it out and do it alone. So again, if you guys need it, you know, don't feel bad about using it, because I used it, but I'm off of them now. So comment down below, have you guys used Wellbutrin? If you guys like today's video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and turn on post notifications, because I do post videos every single day. And if this video resonated with you, check out this video I have reviewing St. John's wort. It's a natural antidepressant. I love you guys, and I'll speak with you very soon. I'll see you tomorrow.